Welcome back. That was a fast turnaround, wasn't it? So fresh from that amazing opening keynote with President Takita, Paul Pattinson and Rupert Lehner. We thought we better continue the pace of getting you insight and key knowledge around those problems that your boardrooms in society are probably facing right now. One of those is around an SAP environment. So it's a bit on the horizon by 2025. I'm delighted to say joining me is Gerren Mayne, who's the SAP Director here at Fujitsu. Thank you for dashing over and sparing us some time in your busy morning.
No, thank you for having me.
Trust, obviously, it's just been spoken about in the keynote in quite a lot of detail. It strikes me that this is quite key for businesses and environments at the moment. If we're going to continue to support agility and help making effective decision making, how do we have to help people that are struggling with their data and the analysis that they want, the speed that they want it? It's quite challenging for businesses, isn't it?
It is, absolutely. And I think the key issue is that actually getting data is not really the issue. It's getting data that you really want. So often we talk to clients that are implementing dashboards, et cetera, and so they have a lot of information, but does it really give them the information they need to transform their business?
Right.
Does it give them the information they need to really make the key decisions that they need to transform their business? So, it's very much about starting off and understanding what the priorities are, and then making sure that you get the right data, and also that the data comes from the trusted source.
I guess it'd be easy to follow the wrong data then, innocently. I mean, if there's this big data overload, you might not necessarily be getting the right stuff to answer the right problems for your business to drive your transformation forward then.
Absolutely, and so often we see that, particularly in SAP estates, where clients are looking at sort of all sorts of whizzy dashboards and great kind of data analytic tools. But fundamentally, unless you really get to the bottom of the business issue, you really can't start to make sense of the data that you're getting. So it's very much about tailoring the right data to the right business challenge to make sure that you can make those informed decisions.
Off camera, I was hearing about intelligent enterprise. Can you tell us about sort of SAP's vision for the intelligent enterprise and what it means?
Sure. So you've probably heard about SAP's latest S4HANA iteration of its software. So a major revamp of its software underpinned by the HANA database. And so basically what SAP have done is created a Leonardo platform. And so you're beginning to, that's, if you like, an aggregate for all of those new digital wave technologies, such as IoT, blockchain, RPA, those sorts of things. And that's going to be really key. So when we talk about an intelligence enterprise, you've still got that core ERP engine running in the background, which is S4, but you've supplemented with those additional technologies that really start to add value. So I was talking to a client recently that make canned tomatoes, and they're looking at blockchain to be able to prove the provenance. So when you go shopping, how do I know that I'm buying the best tomatoes? Where were they grown? How are they being transported? What's their lifespan been? Are they ethic? Are they sustainable? Those sorts of things. RPA, clients are looking now to try to improve the business efficiency of maybe even finance transactions to make them automated. So when we talk about an intelligent enterprise, we're talking about all of those sorts of automated tools, but actually, really it's about making sense of the data, and so that the actual application that you're running from starts to make sense of that and actually starts to apply some business rules that actually align with what you're trying to achieve as an organization.
So amazing technology. The story there, you can see the opportunity
Absolutely.
And the impact that would have. How is Fujitsu helping businesses unlock the opportunity from all of that technology you just mentioned?
Absolutely. So to start with, of course, we're a major player in the SAP market. We have all of those skills in helping clients to actually move to the S4 software to start with. And I think the issue is in the marketplace at the moment, there's a lot of issues with clients trying to understand how do they find a business case to move there, and often the business case isn't on moving to S4 in itself, it's actually unlocking the value from those new digital technologies. So we're working with organisations, worked with a aluminium processor recently that provide car doors to kind of BMW and Audi, and they had a huge problem with the imperfections. You can't see imperfections in aluminium with the naked eye, so what we've done is actually produced AI sensors that detect those faults before they go out the door. Now, to them, that's worth a huge amount of money. You can imagine the warranty claims that come back because a car door, the paint is blistered after 18 months of owning one, it's reputational risk for the car manufacturers, and then there's warranty claims that come back to the aluminium processor. So actually what we're able to do is take out a huge amount of cost, improve customer satisfaction, but of course all of that data needs to flow back into SAP, because if you do find an imperfection, what was the bill of material, where was it produced, what batch was it from, etc., etc. So that's really how we're working with clients to help them. Just one example.
On Fujitsu Forum TV, and when we've had the roving camera out and about, we're hearing a lot about blockchain, IoT, automation, and how that's impacting. Those new innovative technologies, they seem quite away from the sort of traditional technology that we had.
Yep.
CIOs have got a tough gig at the moment, haven't they?
They have.
Right, and now they've got to make both of those technologies work together.
They have, yep.
How are we helping them? I mean, that's a headache and a half, isn't it?
It is, and I think some of the approaches differ. Some of them really don't want to get involved. They think it's smoke and mirrors, and it's technology that's maybe light years away.
Okay.
And so it's just kind of stuff and nonsense in the marketplace. To others, actually, when we get talking to them and show them what the technologies are being used and how they're being used by competitors, that often gets a high degree of focus. But I would say that actually it's about the CIOs working with the line of business now. So, 10 years ago when I was working in SAP, it would be very much a CIO-led discussion. We need a new application, SAP is being selected, and off we go. Today, it's actually about the business coming to the CIO with a particular challenge, and then we're using these new technologies to overcome that. But they're very much complementary, and as I said earlier on, you can't really adopt IoT, blockchain, etc., without having a really solid SAP base to take the data to make sense of it.
Do you think those conversations are happening enough? I mean, it's been a theme around Fujitsu Forum for probably the last 2-3 years. Are the technologists and the boardrooms aligned on business issues? Are we unlocking the solutions to the right stuff? I imagine we're better at doing that, but could we be better still?
Oh, I think so. I think we're learning as much as our clients are learning. And I think actually, we tend to be very siloed sometimes as an organisation. I'm Mr. SAP, I'm a ServiceNow, I'm Mr. Oracle. So what we're finding in the marketplace is it's becoming a bit less black and white, more greyed out. So we're having to learn as an organisation in terms of how we work in the background to provide the very best solutions to clients, as much as clients are having to work across their silos of IT and line of business.
There'll be a lot of IT folk watching this, and so far today we've bombarded them with edge computing. The data centers no longer the center of their data universe. We've got these ecosystems which are stretching across a whole myriad of spaces. We're telling them they need to adopt AI but be ethical with it. We're throwing in the quantum-inspired digital nailer.
Of course.
They'd be forgiven for thinking, blimey, where do I start? If you've got one bit of advice to help them on their journey, what would it be?
My advice would be get back to basics and understand what are the common business problems. And you'd be amazed how many clients and how many organisations don't really know that, whether that would be the CIO or even a line of business.
Interesting.
And actually, when you get to that point where you understand the common problem, then you can start to actually work out what are the best technologies. Technology are only enabler to whatever your business challenge is, and really that's my one piece of advice is go back to that. It flows from the data, it flows from the technology that you use, but fundamentally if you can do that, and often those business challenges haven't changed. If I speak to a retailer, they want to know how do I get the right product to the right people at the right time at the right cost. That hasn't changed in millennia, but actually the technology that we have got now and some of the ways of doing business have changed. So fundamentally that's what we're doing, but it's about our job is to really work out what is the best mix of those products and offerings for clients and provide that to them. But actually it helps if they understand really what is their business challenge.
Brilliant, simple but brilliant.
Absolutely.
Gerren, thank you for swinging by. We told you we'd be bringing you a whole load of insight, didn't we? Solving those challenges that your business or your society is facing right now. What a piece of advice. Just go back to the drawing board and look at those simple problems. Are you answering them with technology? There's a whole load of people that will be joining us over the next couple of hours on Fujitsu Forum TV that will continue the mantra of bringing you answers to those common challenges. Where are we going next? I think, what are we? We're 12 minutes past, half past. We're going to be seeing a familiar face on Fujitsu Forum TV. Mark Phillips from the multi-cloud team's going to come and chat to us. Cloud phenomena, it continues, doesn't it? As we've heard over the last sort of day and a half through Media Day yesterday, there are some businesses out there that's got 20, 30, 40, even 50 cloud properties. Is that right? Do they have a correct cloud strategy in place? What does that mean for security? Was it baked in from the start? Do they need to undo some of that costly and timely work and start again? Well, we're putting a lot of those questions to Mark and his colleagues. Join us for that in about 18 minutes' time. Plenty more to come from Fujitsu Forum.